Man, I don't know what LSD is actually like, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of like this.
LSD Dream Simulator.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing that exists. Baka Talk. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Baka Talk. I'm Rob.
And I'm Sam.
And today we are talking about... How did they call it, Sam?
I believe it was... yes, it was Hill the Shakers.
Yeah, that show. Sam and I watched that show.
Unfortunately, we did. Does it qualify as a show? I felt like more it was a form of torture or one of the circles of hell.
I think it was more of a experimental torture.
Right. Or just like some kind of bad trip on a drug that doesn't and shouldn't exist.
I don't really know what they were trying to do with this show. And I don't think they knew what they were. I don't know if they actually wanted it to be a show. Like you said, it could have just been a form of torture. Maybe this was meant for a different purpose, because this was absolutely dreadful to sit through and watch.
Yeah, it was. This drove me to drink. It actually did. I drank all of the booze in my house just to survive this, with my sanity relatively intact.
I remember having to lay down and nap for a couple hours after the process, because after every time I sat and watched some of the show, I remember when we watched after we watched the first episode together, I had to call it quits and lay down because my head hurt so much. And then I watched a few more episodes, and that's all we could take that time. And then we watched it, the rest of it on our own time. And, today I finished it up, and I just had to call it, I was done. And I was like, now I have to just stare at a wall, because that's more intelligent to what I just freaking witnessed. Like, holy crap.
And did any goldfish come out of the wall and tell you that you experienced the revelation of Babylon?
See, I honestly don't remember that, because I'm pretty sure my mind blocked it out, because I imagine my mind was constantly working to trying to block multiple things of the show out.
All
so
right.
Some made it in and some didn't, and it was to save myself.
Okay. It may not have been a goldfish. I'm not a fish expert. It could have been a different kind of fish.
All I know is that walls were moving, stuff was going in and out, and characters were being dumb.
That's what she said. Bow chicka bow wow.
Good catch. You did it.
Thanks. Thank you.
No problem.
I feel very proud of that. I don't. I feel ashamed. I'm sorry that I said it. Please continue.
The creators of this should feel ashamed. What was it? Go Hands? Is that the name?
It's Go Hands.
Oh, so do you think they wanted to call it Handshakers because it has something to do with their company being called Go Hands? Do you think they tried to just name this show Go Hands? Because it might as well have been, because there's no shaking of the hands.
There is no shaking of the hands. It's inaccurately named, and frankly, I want my money back.
It's Handholders. The show should have been called Handholders, because they
do just hold hands.
That's it.
Of course, I don't think they shake hands in Japan, except maybe with foreigners sometimes.
Right.
Imagine if you did meet new people and then you just reached out and you just held hands. Like you hold your hand out for someone to shake it, and they're just like, "Oh, thanks," and they just take your hand and they hold it, and it's really awkward. You're like,
yeah, I'm not very touchy-feely as it is. I mean, I'll greet someone with a handshake and whatnot. Those who immediately hug people upon first greeting really freak me out.
Those exist?
Those do exist.
Those are strange.
I know a few.
I would not do that.
I am not a fan of it at all.
No.
Getting back on track with this shit.
Yeah.
So Sam, if we had to actually describe what this show was about to those who haven't seen it, how would we best do that?
All right. I got this shit.
Okay, good.
So a boy who likes mechanics has to go fix something at a place. I guess, and he wanders through an open door.
Yep.
And a girl lying in a hospital bed reminds him of his dead sister.
Yeah.
So he holds her hand, and then the professor comes in and says that they are shakers, which means that they have to go to the Ziggeraut and fight. And so they run away, but there's a guy with his bondage girl and their names are bondage and sadism and masochism. Their names are sadism and masochism.
I think it's break and bind.
Oh, okay. Their names are sadist and masochist.
Might as well be.
And he just shakes a chain at them and yells angrily about nothing. And he's like, "Give me more!" And she's like, "Ah!" For the background for the entire episode, shaking chains at them, and the chains are in front of the screen, and they look like a fucking 90s screensaver. Like, you know how they would have the different like shapes twisting around.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, they just had chains going across the screen.
It does not look good. It does not look good at all.
No. It's a visual vomit like the rest of the show. And then,
which we'll definitely get into more.
Yeah, so for the rest of the show, they meet other handshakers who they fight for vaguely defined reasons. And they work at a kitchen, which is just suicidally boring.
So apparently there's people who are handshakers, just people who hold hands, and some of them have powers, I guess. Not everyone who holds hands is a handshaker. I mean, whatever. Some do. I mean, some are, some aren't.
Yeah.
And I guess
it's not really defined what makes someone a handshaker in particular, is it?
Right. No, not really. And I guess when handshakers are holding hands within a certain distance of other handshakers who are doing the same thing, the ziggurat is activated, and then they have to which is kind of like a mirror world, I guess, but it's all weird and crazy, but not really crazy. It's just it represents who they are sometimes.
I don't know. Yeah, the ziggurat is weird. The ziggurat is an unusual place.
But apparently all these handshakers are in competition to fight each other to eventually be the last ones left so they can challenge God.
Right. So it kind of reminds me...
And get a wish, I guess.
It makes me sad to say this. It kind of reminds me of a Kamen Rider show that I saw called Kamen Rider Ryuki, which was similar in that they become Kamen Riders, and there's a guy in the fucking reflections of the wall who talks to them in this big godly voice and is like, "Oh, you must fight." And so they fight other Kamen Riders in order to be the last one standing who gets their wish. And and they go to a mirror world, which is totally empty, but it's like the real world. So it's like that, except, it's shitty instead of that.
That's obviously been around probably a lot longer than this has.
Oh, yeah. That's from the early 2000s.
So, I mean...
It's possible. It's possible that they got some inspiration there.
I imagine they must have a little bit. And if not, then it's eerily similar. But like you said, I believe the Kamen Rider version sounds a lot better than what we freaking watched. And, man, just these characters are so bad.
What characters? Those weren't characters.
No, they weren't. These, if you're going into the show expecting any kind of coherent story or character development, because sometimes in an anime a story may not be that great, but you watch it for the characters, or maybe vice versa. It's really rare that the story is good and the characters are bad.
Yeah, it fails at all of the things, Rob.
All of the things, yes. It definitely does fail in the visual department as well.
Oh yeah, this show is 100% visual vomit. Okay, I swear to Christ, there was a fucking scene where they go in a restaurant and the background of the restaurant is literally just photographs of an actual restaurant interior. I was incredulous.
Livid?
I was livid. Yes, I was so mad that happened, and I can't. The whole show, it's just nauseating to look at. Why would you ever animate something? Fisheye lens effect.
That doesn't make
point?
Any sense. I don't know. You'd think there'd be some kind of...
You're the animation guy. Tell me. Does anyone do this? Is there ever a reason to do this shit? You went to school for this. Let me know. Tell me.
Either you're making a skateboarding video or you're experimenting with shit. Those are the only two things I can ever imagine a fisheye lens.
I wish this show was about fucking skateboarding.
Well, same company did Project K.
Fisheye lenses panning around a fucking crowd passing by. Who gives a shit? Nothing was even happening. Which half of the time in this show, nothing was happening, and the camera was focusing on something random.
And what bothered me the most about it is that not only did they do that in the first place, but that they kept reusing the same fucking scenes that they did it for establishing shots.
Oh,
in
yeah,
multiple episodes, they show the same fisheye lens looking at the same scene that we already saw in the previous episode to show like they're outside. Like that's what that is. That's what that told us. And it's just stupid.
It's established already. Come on.
If I saw that freaking group of high schoolers, whatever they were, walking towards the camera and it goes fisheye zooms into her freaking cheek one more goddamn time, I was gonna lose my shit. Because they did that at least 5 times that I actually picked up when I wasn't trying to rip out my eyes from watching this piece of garbage.
Oh God.
It was so infuriating.
God
and that's
almighty.
just one example of I remember it was there was an episode, and I think it was episode 10, I'm not sure. And I say episode 10 because that was their episode that their budget severely dropped because the finale was coming
I didn't
up
watch that
11
episode.
Right, that was the one episode you skipped because I told you
skipped it.
that nothing happens.
And I was like, okay. Personally, I felt like nothing happened most of the time in this show. But the fact that he specifically really called out that episode telling me that nothing seriously happens in that episode made me like, okay, I will absolutely kill myself if I watch this.
They work in a kitchen. You hear Koyori, like, what's it? The Koyori? She speaks a few words because she talks now all of a sudden because she hasn't talked throughout the previous series at all. And then it kind of introduces the final challenge at the last minute of that episode. Is it the just kitchen? Recaps at the beginning of the next one, so it doesn't matter.
Is it the kitchen run by fucking, I don't know what their names are, Blade and Cut or something?
Yeah, it's
Slice and Dice.
Hayate and Chichiru, I think her name is.
She's just a running fucking gag.
Yeah, they use the same joke with her all the time.
Oh yeah, how many times did they do that during episode 10? It never gets old. Every time they call out the fact that she looks young. No, does she? She's old, but she looks young. Did you know?
I know that.
It's so funny. They only tell that joke 17 million goddamn times.
I think they did at least
episode
once.
Anime. Only 30 times per episode.
I think they did it at least once in that episode, and then they had another one that they focused on way too long, where her partner called her cute or something, and then she got all bashful and just started to spank him. But it focused on it for like a good 2 minutes.
Thank him. Jesus Christ.
So bad. The show is so bad, people. If you've seen it, I'm sorry. If you like it, you're insane.
If you like it, you're not technically qualified to be a good person. You are bad if you liked this show, especially if you liked any aspect like the visuals.
Okay,
the visuals are vomit. If you like the visuals, you are a bad person.
I don't believe it was the same group of animators all the way through. I think it went through so many different hands that it just, like, you can tell, like, the style changed slightly. Like, no one knew what they were doing with like colors and stuff. The 3D effects didn't fit
the
right
colors, the mystery, Nancy Drew and the mystery of the magical color changing hair.
I mean, I get what they were. I think they were trying to do like a lighting effect thing, but it doesn't work if every character's hair, like, why?
So
why
does
a brown-haired
hair
kid
brown
get white and blue and black and gray? Like, why does his hair change?
For most of the series, I thought the main character's hair, what was his name? Fucking Tazuna.
Yeah.
I thought his hair was like white and purplish, like his friends, like Koyori.
That was only when he was in later Ziggurat world, whatever.
Oh, okay. That was part of his power?
Yeah.
I thought it was the rest of the time too, though.
It depends on the light he was in. That's why it's so bad. Like, there was one time
rarely
where
brown, but then sometimes it was brown, and I confused him with Lily's younger brother. And by the way, Lily is voiced by Ai Kayano, who I love. She was Darkness in Konosuba. And she was not good in this role. She was whiny and squealy, and I couldn't stand to listen to her, and I'm going to blame the voice director entirely. I'm sad. I'm sad that she was in this. I'm sad that this show happened. Anyway, yeah. So I confused her little brother for the main character Tazuna so many times because they have the exact goddamn same character design, except that the little brother is a little bit shorter. The only thing that's different is, no, I guess their clothes maybe, but there's not anything different because they have the same hair too. They have the same hair, the same color hair. Just what the fuck?
What they did in that episode too, when they first introduced that little fucker, is that they showed the scene first where Koyori is playing the card game against Lily and he's there narrating the thing. Yeah. And you're just kind of like, so, and you know that Koyori can't leave Tazuna because they have to hold hands, otherwise she'll die. Like that's a thing.
Right. For like 15 minutes, I think she has. That's it.
And,
how long is this card game taken?
I guess it took only 30 seconds because, I mean, she was gone without him for like half a day at least, but, you know, whatever. We'll break our own rules. It's cool. So, you know, and it doesn't show them like separating at that point because it's kind of doing like a flash forward foreshadowing.
It did that all the fucking time.
It does it all the time.
It seemed like every other episode they abused the fucking in media res.
It poorly executes.
So confusingly in a show that is already confusing because they use the fucking Michael Bay Transformers camera that gave Rob motion sickness half the fucking time.
Yeah,
it was just swinging around like it was on goddamn crack.
I couldn't deal
during every action scene. Not even just action scenes, all the time. It swung around like it was attached to Lily's boobs because her tits were flying around like they wanted to break free and fly off into atmosphere and go to goddamn Venus and probe it out for us.
I just remember watching this, and we watched it, you know, subtitled. I'm sure the English translation didn't help it at all because God. Anyway, but trying to read the subtitles with all that camera moving and the flashing colors that don't make sense. This show, seizure warning before this show. There needs to be one.
There needs to be a warning telling you not to watch the show. There needs to be a shit warning.
I want to know how many people have actually seized up by clicking the first episode. How many people actually went to the hospital because of this shit? Because you can't tell me no one has. This is bullshit.
It just flies the fuck around as Tazuna gets knocked once and then flies like 130 goddamn feet across the street, rolling and then skids for like 50 more feet before he finally stops.
Forever. Just say
while the entire time he is narrating to himself, like he's internally monologuing. What is a handshaker?
Yeah. Good question. We don't know.
Who the fuck knows? Who knows?
Some asshole that gets a power with a partner, and then whatever they fight other ones.
Gears with his giant gear sword that looks like shit.
Yeah, you can't even tell that it's made of gears. Like from a distance, like you don't know what that is.
It's an atrocious goddamn hunk of bullshitium.
It's like you tried to make a sword out of like bionicles or something, and then failed miserably.
Bionicle sword. Michael Bay's Bionicles. Once he dries up Transformers, he'll make Bionicles and it'll swing around like this too.
Yeah,
it'll be basically handshakers.
This show is really Handholders, Legends of Michael Bay's Bionic. If
I hear that song loop one more fucking time, I'm going to mesh my goddamn fist through the screen.
Everything either meshes or doesn't mesh, by the way, people.
This show does not mesh.
No, this does not mesh with me.
This show did not mesh with me. Rob, I would mesh with you.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
In a non-sexy way, or is it?
Depends.
Let's move on.
Okay. Actually, no. Let's not for a second.
Oh, shit.
Sam.
Yes, sir.
So as much as we obviously dislike this show, so if we had to put ourselves in this god-awful universe and pair ourselves up, what's our handshaker ability? What do we do? All right. Or what would you like to do?
I almost said microphones, but the Idol already did that and ruined it, made it uncool.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, why don't you tell me, Rob? So while I think on that, why don't you tell me what you're gonna do?
I'm just gonna edit things. I'm just gonna take control of the fucking show and edit so it's nothing or it's better or whatever. I'm just gonna break the fourth wall and just control the whole thing. because fuck it. That's all. And you should just narrate me as I do it.
All right, but what's the visual effect for that? What are you gonna do? How do you edit it?
A keyboard appears in front of me.
A keyboard, and I have a fucking mouse.
Yeah,
I have a mouse because I also like to edit, but I'll do like the audio editing.
We're mouse and keys.
We're mouse and keys. We're drag and drop.
We're drag and drop. That's it.
Fucking drag and drop.
God.
I'm drag video. You're drop video.
Sure, I like it. That's our team name.
That's what we do in the
and then when we win and challenge God, then our wish could be to not have this series exist. Because why?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It might be a good world to live in if you like horrible fucking tits that move for no reason. Because there are those.
Right. I mean, I'm just so tired of all the like unnecessary fan service.
Oh, come on, Rob. What's wrong with someone listening to music and having their tits move with the music for no reason?
That only worked because her tits were the character.
I liked it when her boobs jiggled when she blinked. Yeah, by the way, on that subject, I like how with this and Darkness, she just keeps playing characters who are just boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you are is boobs. Your boobs.
You are
boobs.
That's it. It's very true. It's very true, and it's sad. And oh gosh.
Anyway, yeah. Not to compare Konosuba to this show at all, because I really love Konosuba, or Darkness to that character.
You're right. Right. The thing is, normally for these things, people who are listening, is that we like to actually analyze and critique the story and the actual characters within the show. But I don't feel like this deserves it as much. Because one, there isn't a lot to go through. It's stupid. If you really want to see for yourselves, then go ahead. But I recommend you don't, because I don't want to even support this series. No, I would not have watched this to completion if I wasn't going to be talking about it right now.
Yeah,
this would have been dropped after episode 2, maybe. I probably would have dropped it after episode 1. 2, this has got
This has got to be the new rock bottom on our scale of 1 to 10, right? This has got to replace Deers. It's worse than Deers.
Before our scoring was between 10 and Deers being the worst. This is definitely by far, from memory anyway, because I haven't seen Deers in a while, but I remember not disliking Deers as much as this.
No, definitely not.
I thought Deers was fucking ridiculous, but this Deers
was the worst anime that I finished. This is the new worst anime that I finished.
I am actually offended at how bad this anime is. That it took the time.
It was misery. And let's just talk about how, for all the bad that it wasn't fun bad, because there was so much time spent meandering and pondering about fucking nothing. I'm like, you've been talking about nothing for 5 minutes while the camera randomly focuses on random crowds or just meaningless background details. Please, something happen. Just get the fuck on with it. I got so mad.
Like, they had different little, I don't even want to call them arcs, but different challenges with different characters. Yeah. And it's always like they do nothing for the first 3/4 of an episode, then they introduce their challenge, and then the next episode it's like the first quarter of the episode, and then the last 3/4 of that episode nothing happens again. So it's like you have maybe 5-10 minutes total between 2 episodes of something that of an actual thing that might entertain you, and then it doesn't anyway, and then you go back to watching nothing, and they just repeat that method over and over again.
In the climax of the show, the last couple of episodes, around the fucking fight or whatever, they spent so much time just standing there philosophizing meaninglessly about nothing. And I was like, oh my God, just do something. I don't care. I don't care about your backstory. It doesn't make any goddamn sense where the her dad disappeared because he went to see God, and then
The
what did he
backstory
do?
doesn't
He made
redeem
them.
any
He
characters.
made them fall into a coma. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? How did he make? Why did he make them fall into a coma?
It's
What?
just like you. Okay, it's like okay, the dad's a piece of shit. Cool, got it. That's it. That's all you get from the backstory.
I thought he was gonna do something else.
You thought he was maybe gonna do something.
Why would he go? Why would he
worthwhile.
go see God and be like, okay, make my children fall into a coma? Like, what the hell?
The only thing I could think of, and I'm even sad that I'm thinking about it anyway, is that like maybe he just doesn't want them to go into that freaking world anymore and risk getting hurt. That's the only thing I could think of. But I doubt that was the reason because they're not smart enough to even think of that.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It doesn't.
And yeah.
It does.
Like, and they come up with these names for themselves because it's like, oh, if they know your real name, they can find you, but they find each other anyway.
Yeah.
And
like, what's it matter?
Like, how do they find each other?
It's I don't know. They walk around and hold hands until like something blips and the world changes and it's like, oh, I guess this is happening now.
I guess. In that case, don't you want to fight other handshakers? Why would them knowing your name change anything?
Right. If you're a handshaker, you think you're just going to go ahead and just fight the other handshakers and deal with it. Because guess what? If you lose, you just don't get your wish. So these main characters, they don't want to fight anyone anymore. They get to the point where they're just kind of like, yeah, we just kind of want to avoid it, but we can't because we have to hold hands. Well, guess what? Then fucking lose, and then you don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's well, but if she loses, then she dies.
Oh,
remember?
right, that's true. They did say that. Bullshit. They already lost in the fucking anime, and she didn't die. Fuck them. Fuck them. There's an episode where they clearly lose.
They ran away.
If you run away from a fight, you fucking lose. I'm sorry.
Rob.
Oh, God, I hate it. Okay, so to be clear, he escapes by breaking the bridge and avoiding an attack, and then he gets hurt while he's still in the ziggurat, and then it kind of ends, and he's recovered, I guess, and it's just like, oh, I need to go back and challenge them. It's such bullshit because you went unconscious, you failed, you lost. You lost while you were there. Maybe does she have to do the final blow? It doesn't say. But you essentially nearly fucking died. There have been people in other combat situations, like when they're versing what Cut and Blade, whatever the fuck their names are.
Right.
And you know, like, yeah, Tazuna wins the fight between him and Hayate off screen. Great. And then Hayate's just on the ground smiling. He's like, sorry, I failed you. He's not that fucking badly hurt. He just got probably knocked unconscious for like a goddamn second.
No, he was definitely defeated. He was definitely defeated. He was inarguably defeated. Rob. Meanwhile, they escaped.
They escaped after pretty much falling into a coma. That's good. Good. Great. This show makes sense. Fuck this show. Don't watch it. Jesus.
Yeah, there are a lot of other things you could watch instead.
There are so many other things. Like Deers. You could watch Deers.
Or just, just a suggestion, get a root canal. Better experience.
A root canal?
I say this as someone who has had 5 root canals.
Oh,
I would rather do that again than watch the show again. Comparing the two experiences.
Oh, it was so bad. Okay, so I think Sam, what we have to do now is that we need to share ideas, or at least an idea. What could be a better anime?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, since or at least our shitty anime parodies, because like if this can get greenlit, then anything could get made.
Right, which actually gives me hope. That's the one thing that this did. It gave me hope that I could actually make my own series one day.
Damn. All right. Well, I've already got something, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, so my thing isn't crazy or anything like that. I just kind of looked up random names, randomly generated titles. Let's say.
Oh, that's promising.
Yeah, and I think some of these are already better than what Handshakers is. So, really simple. The first one on my short list is Super Dimensional Love Advanced Musketeer U. And it's the letter U. And it's about a being that travels through time and space who uses his powers to make others fall in love, kind of like a space-time Cupid thing. Or maybe he just is Cupid. Maybe Cupid travels through space and time. I don't know. But either way, he is known as Musketeer U.
Man.
And he's just some flashy, flamboyant guy traveling through space and time and doing his crazy magics to make people fall in love. And apparently he has a bunch of brothers and sisters who are different musketeers of the alphabet. And they all do different things.
Oh, I would watch that.
Right? You know, I mean, it's a little interesting. Another one was a Total Outrageous Caravan, which I think would just kind of be like the Oregon Trail, but wacky hijinks ensue, and a lot of characters just die in very humorous ways.
Oh, shit. Oregon Trail, the anime. I would fucking watch that shit.
Yeah, essentially. Oregon Trail, the anime.
I want to see that. I want that to happen.
I do. I actually want that to be a real thing. Make it happen, people. Not go hands because you
How
fucking
about it, Japan?
And the last one I had, which is called Joke Priestess. It's about a priestess who pulls practical jokes on members of the church and gets kicked out and forced to work for the king by becoming his jester. And that's it. Those are the...
Would there be a skimpy jester costume?
There would have to be. And that one, I feel like it's very comedy slash very etchy.
Fan service. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I could also see it being like a weird reverse harem at the same time, though.
Oh, if she gets like a bunch of dudes into her?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I can see that.
I could see it.
Unless if the king is the main focus, but it's named after her, so I don't know. You know, it's
well, he could be the main boy. Like
main boy, yeah, right.
He's a young king. That can be fine.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So those are my ideas.
All right. Let's see what I got.
Okay.
All right. This one. All right. I got it. This one is called Dead/Alive.
Ooh.
All right.
Sounds dark.
All right. Yeah. It's a dark future. Ooh. It's a dark future where the fabric of reality has been torn by the hubris of man. And the line between fact and falsehood has been blurred.
Oh, okay.
As things are no longer certain. However, as reality shifting energy is unleashed upon the world, a new generation is born with a mutation that allows them to perceive the quantum paths of possibility and choose their own truth.
Fucking quantum paths.
Yes, man. Yes, they're called, these people are called solvers.
Ooh.
Yes, and so organizations and government departments are founded to utilize the abilities of solvers in defining this uncertain world and maintaining order. So, the organization is called DOOR, the Department of Overt Offense Resolution. Employing solvers to determine how crimes were committed and who or what is responsible. And the main character, all the solvers are named after different things. Like the main character is called Schrodinger.
Mm-hmm.
Shuro for short.
Okay.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. And the powers, their reality defining powers are called answers. And his answer is called Dead/Alive, which allows him to determine the nature of an unobserved element at the point of observation.
Wow.
So he can decide whether the cat is alive or dead before he opens the box. See?
Oh,
see? Yeah.
So this is called Dead/Alive.
Yeah, that's the name of his power.
All right. Well, but that's also the name of the show, right?
Yeah, it's the name of his power, and that's the name of the show. And there's also a supporting character called Occam, whose power is he's a jaded, sarcastic, cynical man and a chain smoker.
Gotta have one of those.
His answer is called Razor's Edge and lets him gradually destroy the paths of possibility that are less probable than others until one remains. He's very edgy.
I like it.
I made a joke.
Well, you know what?
What?
I think that deserves to be greenlit.
Oh, shit.
Because just based off that description alone, already sounds better than Handshakers did on paper. So
everything sounds better than Handshakers did on paper. So does yours, by the way.
Especially when I wipe my ass and look at it, that looks better than Handshakers.
Yeah. I've got another one.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
My other one is, I'll call it Misadventures of a Deviant Centaur.
Oh,
All right, check this out.
yep.
He's a centaur
Uh-huh.
because the stereotype of centaurs in Greek mythology is that they carry off human women.
Of course.
But this guy doesn't like human women or the human form at all, and only wants to fuck horses.
Wow.
Yep. Main character is a deviant centaur who only wants to fuck horses, but he only fucks them in the ass because he thinks that will maintain his virginity so that he can meet a unicorn one day. That's his ultimate goal, is to fuck a unicorn.
But is this a hentai or is this like an ecchi?
I'd say, I probably wouldn't go all the way to hentai.
Right.
Like, to keep it accessible, I would probably just keep it like an ecchi, just keep
so
it
these things
zoomed out a little bit, some silhouettes, just
right.
some sounds, play it up for laughs.
Just
not really titillating, because nobody really wants to see somebody fucking a horse. It's funny to joke about.
Right.
Not as funny to actually watch.
Yeah, that could
yeah,
that
I wouldn't want to.
No.
And I'm in charge, so that's not what's going to be.
Okay. Those are some good ideas, Sam.
Oh man. Thanks, Rob.
I think we have a chance.
I like yours too. We should combine our powers and make the greatest anime non-anime of all time. I mean, apparently you can make an anime no matter who you are. I mean, they call Ruby an anime, so.
I really don't want to start on that right now. I will lose my shit.
We'll
that's
get
a whole
into
nother
it
episode.
We'll get into it eventually.
Yep.
There's
something for you to look forward to.
All right.
I believe we said all we could really say about handshakers.
We could say more. I believe we've said all we can without just devolving into angry yelling.
And we kind of already did that a little bit.
Yeah, I especially am guilty of the angry yelling, but I don't regret it, and I'm not sorry.
This is so you guys understand out there. This was so bad that it affected us mentally and physically, and this was our way of relieving this tension, so we can not hopefully, I don't know, die from the stress of having to have dealt with this show.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to bitch and moan about it, because if I kept this to myself, I don't know what would happen to me. Probably explode.
That would be interesting, but
I'm
glad it didn't happen yet, because we still have more to do, Rob.
There's a lot more to do. I can't let handshakers be the end of me just yet.
This was the first time that we deliberately went into a shitty anime.
Yep.
And it will not be the last.
Yeah. No, it won't be. We'll definitely touch others. I don't know.
But not for a while.
Yeah. I don't know if anything is going to be as bad as handshakers. Hey, we still have to give it some kind of score, right? We do it with everything else. And I know we kind of mentioned it before, but whatever out of 10. Is this the new one? Does this, in fact, beat Deers of being the worst thing you've ever seen?
Yeah, it does. Of course it does.
Okay. So
yeah,
it does.
This is one. This is 1 out of 10 for me.
This is the new low, people.
Yeah, this is the new low. This is the rock bottom.
You're right. So don't watch it unless if you're going to actually make something creative out of it, I imagine. Like a podcast or I don't even want to see this being recreated into like an abridged series. I don't even know how. Like, maybe you can make it funny. I don't know.
Or a hentai.
I guess. But I mean, but you wouldn't even care for the character. Like,
I want to see a live action adaptation.
Yeah, that would go well.
I want to see a live action adaptation where all the characters are photorealistic and all the backgrounds are animated.
The first episode would just be filmed so bad that you have like the guy who's playing Tajna there, like, oh, and then you have some guy who's like barely off screen just throw a chain at his head. That's how that would go.
That would actually be better than this, because it would be fun to watch.
It would be. This definitely wasn't fun to watch.
1 out of 10 unanimously.
I guess that's it for now. So
yes, sir.
Until next time.
Join us next time when we talk about Aiken.
I need to go. Bye. I need to leave.
Aw. But I like boobs. Always look on the bright side of life. Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. Life's a laugh and death's a joke, it's true.